Welcome to the Rev Your Agency podcast, the most candid and authentic life insurance and annuity podcast that is hell-bent on helping you be more honest, ethical, productive, and profitable. Tune in and you're going to get exclusive access to the industry's top tools, tips, tricks, and resources from the biggest and most effective producers on earth. You're going to hear real-life stories of agents that went from nothing to something, zero to hero, and how changing the lives of their clients has changed their own lives financially. Sit back, relax, enjoy the show, and share it with someone you think will find value as well. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome out. This is obviously still Rev Your Agency podcast, but we're going to start dropping a new segment, and I'm going to make sure we do this one every single week. I'm recording this on Monday. It might be Thursdays or whenever it gets dropped, but I don't know. We'll see. No, you know what? I'm going to talk to my team. We're going to drop this on Mondays because I want it to hit. I want it to hit for that. We might call it Monday Motivation or Monday Mastery or something like that. The whole point, though, is to get you that quick little something you need to go and have a powerful, impactful, productive week, okay? So sometimes I might take some questions that I've gotten throughout, the previous week and record on that. Sometimes I might end up harping on something a little bit. I don't know. The whole point, though, is to take a moment to step away from having guests on, and it's always fun to meet new people and hear different stories and different things that they're doing that are successful and working and things they've done that haven't worked. But I think there's also something to just kind of getting some real, raw, relevant instruction, sometimes a little inspiration, sometimes a little motivation. Sometimes it's that kick in the ass you need. Sometimes it's that shoulder to lean on. I don't know. But I want to tell you what I want to talk about this week. We actually just wrapped up our weekly team meeting. We do meetings every single day of the week, different types of meeting, like a 15-minute sales call and all sorts of things. But once a week on Monday, we do a team meeting, okay? We get together, we go over all the admin stuff we need to, and sometimes it's an hour-long meeting, sometimes it's a 30-minute long meeting. No point in spending longer in a meeting than you need to. But today, we went back over something that I just talked about a couple months ago, but some of our team has been struggling with it, and it's productivity, okay? Productivity, it's crazy because in this business, in every business, but in this business for sure too, okay, in the insurance business, so many few folks confuse being busy with being productive, and it's not. And we've all heard this again and again. But you can visibly look at the end of a week, at the end of a month, and say, did I move the needle forward over that time period? Am I closer now? Like, hey, I want to get my residuals up to $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month, $100,000 a month. Are you closer? Like at the end of 30 days, that's enough time. You should have moved the needle forward. However much, okay? Maybe it's not a ton, but maybe you moved it forward by $300 a month, $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month worth of residuals by the end of that month. If not, if it's just, if you're not in the residual game, maybe you're in the, one and done game, maybe you have some other metrics. But if you didn't move the needle visibly forward over a month, it's because you weren't productive. You may have been working your ass off, but you weren't productive. You weren't doing the shit that actually matters. You were busy doing shit that doesn't matter. And it's the shit that doesn't matter that's going to continue to take your time, your effort, your energy, and flush it down the damn drain until you're too broke, too miserable, too unfulfilled to want to stay in this business. I mean, you're going to go back to boxing honey bunches of oats at the factory or whatever the hell it is you did before this. And I don't want that for you. So I want to share with y'all what I shared with my team. And this isn't something I came up with. I've got my own little twist on it. But I mean, this has been huge. I actually got this from Andy Frizella. Andy Frizella didn't come up with this. There's folks that have been doing this for 100 damn years. He had his own twist on it. I've got my own twist on it. I originally heard about this clear back, when? Probably 2017, 2018 on his old podcast, MF CEO. And it's something that's changed my life. Does that mean that I'm perfect at it? No, absolutely not. Does it mean that I always hit the nail on the head? No, I get away from it. But I will tell you this, the times I'm the most stressed, the most anxious, the most miserable, the least fulfilled, moving the needle forward the most are the times that I get away from this, okay? So this is called critical tasking, and I'm going to pull up some notes to reference here while I go through this with you, because it's so damn powerful. It's so damn powerful, but not enough folks are taking me serious at it. I brought this up to my team how long ago, and how many of them did anything with it? Pretty much none of them. I've had a pretty good couple months here. I've got a lot of things going at this point that I didn't have going a couple months ago, things that I needed going. And how did I do it? I made double damn sure that I was going through things and going through my day winning, guaranteeing myself wins every single day, regardless of anything. Okay? Regardless of anything, I was going to win. And that's what's put me further forward. This is going to give me a pain in the ass here, so it's not going to pull up for me. My hell. Every time one of these programs updates, they decide to make it miserable for everybody, right? Of course they updated it. Of course Adobe updated, so now I don't even know where to find the right tools, and I'm in the middle of recording this. Give me just a second to step away. I'm going to grab just my paper sheet I printed off, and I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. So, and yes, I print this out. I print it because I can put it up, like I can have a PDF on my computer, right? And have it saved to my desktop and fill it out every day. And it means less to me. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I hate digital tools. Like, they're so necessary. And this coming from a guy who's helped co-develop not just one, but multiple CRMs. I lean on, we use so many digital tools and resources, but for some reason, I can't find a way to give, two shits about it if it's on a damn computer. If it's on a piece of paper, there's just something that connects in my brain. This is how I work. You don't have to work like this. This is how I work. There's something that connects in my brain when I put physical pen to paper, and it triggers something different for me. So I like to print this out, okay? And all it is a grid. I've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, because my weekends belong to my family and myself religiously, right? I do not work on weekends. I will do anything I have to during the week. And there are times when the ox is in the mire, but like in the last 5 years, I've done that maybe twice, worked on a weekend. But that's all it is. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then I have 5 critical tasks. Okay, so 5 columns for a critical task. And then I have a final column called Did You Make It, or Did You Make the Day a Success? Did you make the day a success? Yes or no? Now, these critical tasks, they don't have to take all day. They don't have to take all day. And I'm going to tell you how many and what should be in them and everything in just a second here. But they don't have to take all day. In fact, I try and design my day to where I'm done with the vast majority or all of my critical tasks by noon. I want to be done. And the rest of the day is yours once you get there. So I get the whole rest of my day. But there's 2 pitfalls. 2 pitfalls with this. Pitfall number 1 is you get done with your critical tasks. The rest of the day is yours, and you choose to go screw around doing nothing. Just because I have my day back, does that mean that I go home? No. If you ask the folks out here that I work with, when do I leave? I leave at the end of the day 9 times out of 10, 99 out of 100. Why? Because there's other things I need to do that weren't critical. There's other things that weren't going to drive productivity or profitability, but there's still things that are nice to have done, Make this look a little nicer, dress that up a little bit. So-and-so is, this member of the team is struggling a little bit with that or with that. Like, let me jump on the phone with them for 15 or 20 minutes and see what I can do to help them out. Sometimes it's improving the tools, products, and resources we already have. Sometimes it's, hey, I'm on a roll right now. I'm on fire. It's noon. I've got a whole lot of day left. Why don't I go back to work and end this day even further ahead? Like, let me get further ahead. Okay. But there are days, by the way, where I do give it back to myself. It's my day. So I might be like, oh man, the weather's getting real nice here. I've been inside all damn winter. It's about to be real nice. There's probably going to be multiple days every single month, maybe weekly, where I'm like, hey, it's noon. My critical tasks are done. I'm going to go take the dirt bike out for a few hours. That's what I'm going to do. And I love doing it. It's one of the best things ever. Okay. But I'm not going to do it every day. I'm not going to do it every day because eventually what's going to happen if I do that, and this is only the first problem with critical tasking that people run into, the first pitfall. Okay. If I give myself the slack off every day just because I got my critical tasks done, then the non-critical things are going to stack up until they become critical, or they become so obtrusive in my inside of my mental capacity, right? I've got so many of these non-critical things stacked up. Now all of a sudden I have to quit doing critical things that drive productivity forward in order to catch up on the non-critical things. And I don't want that either, okay? So I don't make those non-critical things critical on a day-to-day basis, but I also don't let them stack up, or I try not to let them stack up behind me to where it's like, oh, I've got 42 PDFs to edit. I've got, 15 friends I need to call to check in on. I've got this, I've got that, I've got the... No, let me try and stay on top of that stuff by and large so that I don't have to make it a critical task. It's not like my business, it's going to start costing my business money, right? I want it, as long as it doesn't cost my business money, I don't have to prioritize it now, okay? But if I have the time in the day, I might still knock it out so that it doesn't cost my business money down the road. Does that make sense? Hopefully it's making sense for you. So I have those things, okay? I have these 5 columns. Now, I don't have to fill all 5 out every single day. Here's my rules I have 5 rules for success. No exceptions to these rules. You can't let yourself off the hook. If you let yourself off the hook, that's why you're going to really struggle, okay? If you're always enabling yourself to be less productive than you need to be to pay the bills or to grow effectively, then you are always going to be less productive than you need to be to pay the bills or move the needle forward. Quit letting yourself off the hook. You're your own worst critic, and you're the first one to go grab a freaking ice cream bar and take the rest of the day off the first time anything goes bad. Quit. You have to do these. No less than 3. No more than 5. See, that's the second pitfall. It's not that people set too few critical tasks. It's that they try and set too many. They're like, hey, let me set 10, 15. They get through the end of the day and they're like, man, I crushed 8 of these, but I had 15. So the day was a failure. Because if you don't complete every single critical task, you didn't win the day. Remember that 6th column? Did you make the day a success? If I don't do all my critical tasks, I don't get to mark that as yes. I have to mark it as no. And if I can't be honest with me, I'm not going to be honest with anyone else, right? You're the first person you have to be honest to. So if you're going to be honest with everyone else, you got to be honest with yourself first. Did you make the day a success? I only made it a success if I completed all of my critical tasks, not some, all of my critical tasks. Okay. And if I have 15 of them, I completed 8. That's a damn good day, but I don't get to mark the day as a success. So I don't want to overstretch myself. I can do 5 critical tasks, 3 to 5 critical tasks per day, every day for the rest of forever. Okay. For the next 30, 50 years, I can do that. 15 a day. That's a pace that I might keep it for a week. I might keep it for a month. I might keep it for a year. But success in business is not about one big push and all of a sudden everything works out for you. It's about consistency. There is no finish line. Quit expecting there to be a finish line like, oh my God, if I just work, 40 out of every 24 hours for the next 2 years, I'm going to be there. There is no there. There is no there. There's the saying, more money, more problems. It's freaking true, okay? You still go through the same issues. You have the same problems. They look different. You deal with them different. They sound different. But it's just another version of the same problem with different zeros. It's just at different levels. There's only so many things you come up against in this world. And they might have a different face, but a different face and a different dollar amount. But it's the same shit over and over and over again, okay? So I'm on something that I can stick to, repeat consistently, et cetera, et cetera. So 3 to 5. And in doing those 3 to 5, like all my hopes and goals and dreams can be achieved by doing those 3 to 5, not 15, 3 to 5. Okay. I don't get to mark the day a success unless I complete all of the critical tasks I set out for myself that day. All of them. Okay. Can't let myself off the hook. I have to do them all. So again, every day, no less than 3, no more than 5. Number 2, to mark the day a success, you must complete all of your critical tasks. Number 3, every day must include one critical task that could very reasonably lead to 1/10 of your average monthly income. Why 1/10? Well, if there was an average of 20 to 22 working days per month, one might reasonably say, well, I should be dividing by 20, right? No, my action plan needs to always exceed my expected outcome. It needs to exceed my expected outcome. Why? Because it doesn't always work out the way you want it to, especially when you're in building mode. In building mode, you are going to have to put in more action and activity to get the same result. Once you're built, you get to trim that down a bunch. But if I want to make, let's say $10,000 a month, and there's 20 working days a month, then I need to be making, what is that, $500 a day, right? That makes sense. But if all I push for, or if all I do is the activities that lead to $500 a day, so if I say my average sell is $500 a day, so I'm only going to push to sell one thing per day. Like my goal is never going to be sell one thing a day, right? Because, or that might be my goal, but it's not my critical task. I can't control whether or not someone buys, but I can look at my numbers and say, well, it takes me 2 appointments to get one person to buy, 50% closing ratio, right? So I'm going to plan on 2 appointments a day. That's my $500 a day. That's going to get me to my 10,000, right? The problem with that is this, especially in the beginning when I'm building, I'm not as good at sales, or there's a pipeline problem, or like right now there's economic problems that are causing people to take longer to buy. So I could run those 2 appointments and I'm still not going to close one for weeks and months. I got to follow up. They're a little more hesitant than they have been the last 5 years. So now all of a sudden, out of nowhere, my closing ratio goes from 50% to 30%. Well, what am I going to do to guarantee, no matter what happens in the world around me, that I'm going to hit that? So I double it. I want to double down. Okay. So again, not 1/20th, 1/10th. If I had to divide 10,000 by 10, that's $1,000 a day, which means at a 50% closing ratio, $500 average commission or revenue per close, right? I need to do 4 appointments per day. So my critical task for the day is do 4 appointments. I might also have a critical task for the day that says, okay, well, in order to do 4 appointments, I have to have X amount of leads. So my critical task for that day might be, if I need 100 leads for 4 appointments, I either need to obtain 400 leads per day organically, or I need to buy 400 leads a day. Or I have to do something. I have to guarantee my outcome. If you fail to guarantee your outcome, you will fail to meet your expectation. I can tell you that. It's happened to me time and time again. I've talked to hundreds and hundreds of insurance agents who've met the same end. Okay, that's what you have to do. If you fail to guarantee your outcome. Now, what am I actually doing? I'm probably actually guaranteeing me earning more than the outcome that I wanted. But I don't know. I can't control all these other things. I can control me and my action and activity. Well, 4 appointments a day, half an hour per appointment is 2 hours, right? That's it. It takes me 2 hours to run those stinking appointments, not any longer. If I wanted to build in some time in between, maybe 3 hours. In less than half my day, I just guaranteed my outcome. Well, how do I get 100 leads a day? Well, I could buy 100 leads a day. You don't have to have 100 leads. I'm just throwing numbers out there, right? So you don't have to have 100 leads a day. Maybe you do this or that or the other. Whatever you do, you're going to have to do that marketing. I've found for me to run the number of appointments per day I need to meet my metrics, I need to do an hour on a good day to 3 hours of marketing per day, okay? So there's my day right there. You're wondering what to do. Like if you're on the sales side, if you're running your agency, that's a different side of things. You have different critical tasks. But if I'm in production, right, I should be producing like in appointments 2 to 3 hours a day. I should be marketing probably 2 to 3 hours a day. Marketing could be obtaining leads, could be qualifying leads, could be following up. It could be any number of these things. There's a lot that goes into it. But that's it. That's 6 hours of my day. Now, is that done by noon? No. But in the beginning, that might be what it takes. Okay. As I get better, as time goes on, as the pipeline stacks up, as everything stacks up, now to have the same result that's going to give me, it's like an hour and a half of appointments because I don't run 30-minute appointments anymore. I run 15-minute appointments. Now I'm doing all my appointments in an hour. I can give myself a half hour for time in between, and I'm getting good enough at marketing that it only takes me an hour to get those 4 appointments per day or whatever. Now can I be done by noon? Yes. But that happens over time, consistently hitting that, okay? So again, that's rule number 3. At least one of your critical tasks It has to be an action, not a goal, not I'm going to make a sell per day or I'm going to make $500 this day. You can't control that. What you can control is the action and activity that's going to lead to that sell or it's going to lead to that, okay? And that needs to very reasonably lead to at least one-tenth of your expected or your hoped for monthly income. Rule number 4, every day must include one critical task that'll guarantee you meet 5 new people that day. I don't care if you're in insurance, you never have money problems. You have people problems. You don't ever need more money. You need more people, okay? People in your pipeline to sell insurance to, people in your pipeline to recruit them to come work for you, either as a part of your agency or downline or whatever. You need more people to work with your people. See, once you become an agency owner, it's not just about running people around and having them find everybody and this and that and the other. My number one job, because I have people working for me, my number one job is keeping the pipeline full. And sometimes I do better at that than others, okay? But it takes people to become successful. The people have the money that you want. The people have the notoriety that you want. The people will give you everything you want. You just have to get the people. So one of your critical tasks every single day has to require you to meet 5 new people per day. I'm not talking about like a Facebook post. So unless like your Facebook post or your LinkedIn post is leading to 5 new conversations, not conversation with somebody I've already talked to, new people every single day, okay? Unless it's leading to that consistently, you can't count it. It has to be a new person every single day. It needs to be a conversation. Either they reach out and shoot you a direct message, or you're at least back and forth, not they commented once on your post and that's it. Like there needs to be an ongoing conversation, okay? Outside of that, how do you meet new people every day? Well, you call your leads. You get out in the community. You maybe it's go to my networking group. Maybe it's go to lunch, and instead of sitting there with my headphones in, I talk to the other people sitting there at the bar top with me or whatever. But I have to meet 5 new people every single day. I have to meet 5 new people every single day. And by the way, I know everybody has their spot, and it's good to hit your spot. Like you go there for lunch, it's your spot, you get to know people really well. But it's also can be hard to meet new people that way because it's your spot and it's Tom, Dick, and Sally's spot with the same bartenders and the same this, and you're there at the same time, the same day of every week. You're not meeting anybody new. You got to go new places to meet new people. You got to have new conversations to meet new people, right? So one of your critical tasks has to do that. Rule number 5, you need to keep sheets for every single week so you can look back at your trend. If you're not seeing results you want, your successful days, and your successful days are less than 80%. So if at the end of a month, if I don't feel like, man, I set myself up for this goal, this is what I wanted by the end of the month, and I'm not there at the end of the quarter, at the end of the year. If I go back and look at these these weekly tracking sheets and I'm not 80%, that right-hand column, that's the only thing I need to pay attention to when I'm looking back. Did you make the day a success? If I can't be at least 80% successful 4 out of 5 days, if I can't win at least 4 out of 5 days, there's a problem. You know exactly why you're failing, why you're not meeting the expectations you set for yourself, why you're not hitting those goals, because you're not doing the things that it takes to get you there. Okay, this is a conversation about utter honesty. And the best path forward is utter honesty. There is no better path forward. Okay, so last piece, and then I'm going to wrap this up. At the very bottom of this sheet, I have a little statement that I sign. I, Carson Porter, put your own name there. I, Carson Porter, do hereby certify that I am proud of my intention, my effort, and my follow-through this week. And I sign it. If I didn't hit at least 80%, I'm not allowed to sign it. I don't sign it. And if I don't actually feel that way, I might hit 100% of my critical tasks. But if I don't feel that way, I won't sign it. Why? Because maybe I was choosing the wrong critical tasks. Maybe I completed those critical tasks, but I was chasing the wrong thing. Things I thought were critical that turns out weren't. So I need to realign what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis. Okay? My goal is to be done with this every day by noon. That's my goal. Do I always get that? No. Probably 2 days a week, 3 days a week, I can get it done by noon, right? But 2 to 3 days a week, it takes me the whole damn day. There's probably 3 to 5 days out of the month that I don't get it done, like something else came up and it's like, shit, why did I let that? That's part of my growth path. part of my growth pattern, but mine's trackable. If it's measured, it can be improved. If it's not measured, it won't be improved. That's one thing I know about how humans work. If you fail to measure what you're doing as you approach your goals, you won't improve. And I don't care where you're at. You could be brand new in this business, or you could already be making $1 million damn dollars. The only people that I know that don't really feel like they want to improve are people that are going backwards and about to be broke. It's so crazy. Let me end you with this story. I have a good friend in this business, and he's been making millions for years. Millions for years. Okay. And for years and years, he said, I've had enough. I'm just kind of on cruise control. We have enough coming in through the little bit of marketing we do in referrals that it's good. We're just here clipping along. Well, guess what? His company over the last 2 years has cut his commissions on this book of business he built up for himself. They've cut his commissions multiple times, to where his same book of business is now paying him half as much. And guess what he has to do at nearly 60 years old? He has to shit and get. He can't sell that book for what he could 2 years ago. Doesn't have the value there. So it's not like he has that big equitable exit he was hoping for. It's not cash flowing the way that it should. He's been stressing about having to lay people off and this and that and the other. And why? Because he got comfortable and he quit trying to do better. There's forward and there's backward. There is no coast. There is no cruise control. Coasting and cruise control will catch up with you 100% of the time. The way to not get stuck in that rut, it's 5 critical tasks. That's it. They might be on the production side. They might be on the admin and management side. Who knows? But it's 5 critical tasks. What is 3 to 5 critical tasks? What are the 3 to 5 most imperative things you need to do today to guarantee your ethical, effective, profitable outcome? You do that every day, and I promise you'll get where you're going, and you're going to get there a hell of a lot faster than you thought you were. Let me leave you with that. I hope you all have a great week. We'll see you next time. This has been another excellent episode of the Rev Your Agency podcast. Remember something, nothing happens if you don't do the damn work. So take what you've got from this, take what you've learned, and go implement it today. It's not about having everything. It's about having one thing and implementing it every day so that you can take your production, your agency, and the lives of everybody around you to the next level. If you could use some help with it, hit us up at revagencysyndicate.com and jump in. We run a mastermind that is dedicated and hell-bent 10 times more than this podcast could ever be into helping you have the education, collaboration, and accountability that you need to go to the next level. Whether you are captive, independent, whether you're life only, or you focus on multiple lines, it doesn't matter. We're here to help. Let us help you.